Hey guys, my name is Kate and I'm the owner of Vogue Society Boutique, which is a clothing boutique in Sarasota, Florida, and we also have an online store as well. On this page, I talk all about boutique business stuff, how to start a boutique, how to run a boutique, and just all the types of business behind the scenes that you are curious about. If you like this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel because I'll be posting a video like this every single week. Today, I wanted to talk about something a little bit more personal because I feel like it really helps someone when you kind of know their journey and what they've gone through. And so maybe it could help you with your journey a little bit as well. Learn from my mistakes, stuff like that. All right, so to start off, a lot of people ask, how did you start a boutique? And like, why did you start a boutique and all of that fun stuff? I went to school at Penn State and I'm from Pennsylvania. I went to a really small high school, and honestly, you guys, I was not the girl who was like the fashionista. Not to say that I didn't really dress nice or anything like that, but I would wear sweatpants and leggings to school like literally all the time because I was an athlete and I wanted to be comfortable, and to be honest, I was not a morning person. Once I went to college, I did go to college at 4 years at Penn State main campus for marketing, and around my senior year, my mom was kind of just feeling fed up with the corporate world. My mom has always been in the corporate world as a accountant, and she was kind of head of finance at a business, and she was just kind of fed up with it and wanted to start her own business. Instead of making other people rich, she wanted to make herself rich and give herself time and freedom. And I kind of felt that too. I knew that when I became a mom, which I am not a mom yet, but I knew when I did become a mom in the future, I wanted to be able to work from home or just have more flexibility with my schedule. So that's kind of my why. Why I necessarily started a boutique was honestly because I loved shopping. I thought that I can create a really good shopping environment, whether that would be online or in store, and just with good price points and unique style. My senior year, my mom, right before I graduated, was kind of talking about buying an existing business, and she found a boutique, and we ended up almost buying that boutique, but the seller kind of backed out, and at the last minute we were just like, you know what, we are gonna do it on our own. Now also, all going on during this time, we were in the discussions of moving to Florida because I've always wanted to move south. I love Florida, I love the palm trees, and me and Cody, who is my boyfriend, we've been dating for 5 years, he wanted to get a job in Florida as well because his brother lived down here at the time. We knew we didn't want to live where his brother lived because it was kind of in the middle of the state, and we're like, hey, if we're moving to Florida, we want to be by the coast. He ended up getting a job in Sarasota, Florida, which is currently where I'm at, but right when we did move to Florida, my mom and I moved to Jacksonville. It was a long story, but we basically just saw that as an opportunity of where we could potentially start our business. So my mom and I literally packed up our lives, moved to Jacksonville, got a random apartment, and then started a boutique by literally Googling everything. We had no coaches, no mentors, and it was tough. We really didn't know what we were doing, but we figured it out basically day by day, and here we are now, almost 5 years later. I cannot even believe it. But basically in that time, I realized we only lived in Jacksonville for about 6 months until I realized, why don't we just move to Sarasota, because that's where Cody is. So anyways, that's how we ended up here and ended up having our own business. But taking it from there, we did start off just online. We literally started off in our guest bedroom, and we quickly outgrew that. When we moved to Sarasota, we rented a house. It was me and my mom and Cody because we didn't really know where to buy a house or whatever, and we just figured we'd put all of our finances together to get a nice 3-bedroom house with a pool. So we all lived together for, I think it was 2 years, and in that time frame, we had a spare bedroom that was literally our office with tons of inventory and where we packed orders. And then we also had this front room off the front of the house where it was our boutique room. It was literally set up like a boutique. We didn't really have anyone come in and shop there, but we did kind of just have all of our inventory and did try-ons and stuff like that whenever I did those in that room. And so I started off online. I did a lot of live sales on Facebook, and those were really successful for us. I don't know how I missed talking about this in the video when I was recording, but I did want to mention that we did a lot of pop-up shops when we were starting off as well, and we eventually decided that we wanted to get a trailer. So we literally bought a trailer, got it wrapped. It was honestly so darn cute. Look at it. And so that way it would be easier to go to those pop-up shops, because if you've ever done one before, you know that it is no joke. They are hard. So when we bought the trailer and redid it, this is what it looked like inside. And so it was really great to take them to little pop-up events to get new customers. But to be honest with you guys, it was so much hard work, and the trailer just gave us anxiety after basically a few months. So we ended up selling it and decided that storefront and online is for us. Eventually it just got to the point where I was so sick of it being in our house because it was just like everywhere. So we did end up trying to look for an office space, but office spaces around here, you guys, are so darn expensive. We ended up going with a retail location that wasn't in like the best like location, like there wasn't like foot traffic there, but it was just as cheap as getting an office space, or as expensive, I guess I should say, as getting an office space, but we could kind of set it up as a retail location, yet run our online business there every day. So we did that, and that was open for about 2 years until we had a 3-year lease there, until we had to close for COVID 2 years in. But we closed the location because we were forced to at first, obviously. And then afterwards, we just decided not to reopen. Our sales between online and in-store, like when we just went online only, our overall sales went up because we were so focused on our online sales, which is what was working best for us at the time, because a lot of people would just kind of walk in the store and just be like, hi, like I'm just waiting for my hair appointment. And I was like, okay. So anyways, it was fun. It was a great experience, but we ended up not reopening after COVID. So like for the last year that we were in that space, we just kind of ran it as like a warehouse, but it was like set up as a store. Kind of weird, but it wasn't really required for us to be open to customers or anything like that in the location that we were in. After that lease was up, we had been in business for about 4 years. I wanted to move again to, well, we were just doing online only, but I wanted to move into a more warehouse space where I had a bigger office, because the office in that space was so tiny, where I had a bigger office, I had some natural light to take pictures, and just had a lot of room for inventory. But a few months into that, our business took another crazy turn. So actually my friend who owns a boutique was telling me about how she was like finding this awesome like retail location in a outlet that she was doing, like almost like a pop-up. So it would be like 3 months in that space, or 3 or 4, oh, it was a little bit more than that, but it was basically for the holidays in that space, and that like one of her local outlet malls was like letting her do that. And I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. Let me look into that. So I went ahead and looked into that as well in one of the outlets that was near us, but they never ended up contacting me back. So I actually called our local mall, which I know malls are kind of dying off, but honestly our mall is like pretty darn good, I would say, for malls these days. But I called the mall and just asked them if they had any opportunities like that. They said they did. However, they said, and when they told me the space and, you know, all of that, I was super excited because it was a really good space. And if you're like, if you ever shopped at our store, you know that it is a really good space. It's right next to Lululemon and all that. So I was like, oh my gosh, I totally want to do this. But they said multiple people were interested in that space specifically. So if I wanted it, I would at least have to sign on for most likely a year. Honestly, I'm so glad I did that, because if I was only in there for about 3 months, it wouldn't have been worth it. It was so much work to get it all like set up professionally and whatnot, because the last thing I want is somebody to come in and be like, this place isn't gonna last. So I made sure that I set it up like super professionally. People ask if we're like a chain store or a franchise, which is like honestly the best compliment ever. So with all the time and money that we did put into it, I'm glad it wasn't only for like 3 months holiday, and we did sign on for a full year so that we could kind of see how the year goes and whether we want to do that again. So anyways, that's where I'm at now. We've got employees working there, and it's my mom and I who, you know, own the business together, and our employees are awesome, and I'm able to kind of see where this adventure is going to take us in the next year. I am honestly still unsure if I want to continue opening new stores, because if this store does work out and it's really successful and I am happy doing it, don't forget about your happiness when you are opening a business, you guys, because even though it looks great on paper and on social media to other people, if you are not happy, it is not working. So if it works, meaning if it is financially successful and if it is like making me and my mom happy. We not only will stay there for longer than a year, but we'll also open probably more store locations in the future. If it doesn't work out, whether that be financially or mentally, we just wanna go back to the basics and go online. Obviously it has a lot less overhead, a lot less like, you know, employees that are needed and everything like that. So yeah, follow along to see where this adventure takes us. I'll definitely do a store tour soon, and let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns. I just want to build a community on here with other boutique babes. Leave me a like on this video if you did enjoy this little story time, and hit subscribe. We will see you guys next time.